Do-do, 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 boom, boom, diddle-a-doo. Do-do, do-do, ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. I got 6 minutes. That's a critical trick. Never give yourself more than 6 minutes to get ready for anything. You having a kid? Fuck it. 6 minutes. 6 minutes is when you get ready. No more, no less. Don't overthink it. Think it too goddamn hard. Never think too goddamn hard. I don't. Only about shit. Oh. I get a Facebook viewer. That's intense, like camping. 5 minutes. Thank you, Madam Director. 5 minutes. Ooh, boy, I was nasty a year ago. Glad I'm nicer now. Well, whoever you are, viewer, I'm taking comments. I'm taking them live. All the way to the base. Mint, where I will have sex with them. Oh, well, it seemed last night you got me fapping it. There's no use denying it, 'cause I was really cranking it. Now dry your eyes and don't feel so sad. But I wouldn't touch those tissues, they've already been had. I'll take you for a ride in my garbage truck. Oh, I don't need luck, boy. It's just the nature of the beast. How much would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Um, Gee, I don't know. How would I've never bothered to think about? Doom, 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 bam, bam, oh, oh, thank you for a ride. I watched Scott Pilgrim recently. It was a good movie. That was a good one. I went to see that one live. It's one of the fellas. Jeez. Got big anxious energy tonight. How we doing on the Twitters? That's alright. It's an Insomnia stream. I don't expect anybody to show up. I think the boys are awake. whoa, baby, whoa, oh, as far as we can. I'll be your garbage man. Pictures in my review. Chat, you ever seen Sons of Trier? I mean, Scott Pilgrim, that's the one that you're watching. Sons of Trier, of course you've seen it. Oh, 2 minutes. I got all fired up. Baby, whoa, oh. Should just watch that movie again tonight. I just watch it in the background. Jesus in my review. I gotta read those books again too. Should dig them out of my basement. I got them down there somewhere. I was a big Scott Pilgrim boy once upon a time. 1 minute. Start the goddamn show. Sorry. I'm in love with malicious intent. I like Ministry too. Ministry's a good band. I like Jorgensen's a fucking weirdo. All the goth kids in the 1980s listening to Every Day is Halloween, thinking they were the coolest things in the world. Bop, bop, bop. Why can't I live the life of me? Why do I take the abuse as served? That was Ministry once upon a time. Al Jorgensen sang that. Every Day is Halloween. Same people who did Psalm 69. It's insane. Fucking Trent Reznor went through that phase too. Well, I guess that's it. It's time to start the broadcast. I'm Dan Cohen, and this is an Insomnia stream because I am so wound. I have no idea why. I'm all cranked out on anxiousness. What we got? There's no comments, I'll begin. So what I was thinking about, for like the past 2 hours, I have just been twitchy and on edge, and I haven't even been doing cocaine. I haven't even drinking coffee. A couple cups of iced tea at about, I don't know, around noon. It's store-bought iced tea too, so there should be no reason that I'm this wound up and edgy. I'm all tense, like a tiger. When we're getting late at night, I just performed last night, obviously. I was like, I gotta do it again. I'm feeling that rush. I'm feeling it. Also got invited to auditions next week. I actually gotta look at those. You know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna do it right now. I'm Dan Cohen, and I'm wasting your time while looking up auditions on Facebook. Let's see. Gotta look up the damn events. I'm gonna change that to interested. I don't know if I can go. Oh, they have one on the 8th? Okay, I might be able to pull that one off. 6 to 8 p.m. Oh, they want proof of vaccination. It means I gotta dig out the damn card. It's so painful being an actor. But no. Spent the past probably about 2 hours feeling the burn, feeling the urge
So I did what I always do before I perform. First, I started with the band Robots in Disguise. Now they're famous because they were on the Mighty Boosh for a little bit. Otherwise, they burned out hard, which was sad. Those gals had pipes. Those gals could sing. But like every good thing, it came to an end. But I always start with them. Then I moved on to Placebo. Specifically, I like their cover of Big Mouth Strikes Again. I think Slacker Bitch is a cover. So I listen to those two. Now, those kind of get me vibing, making me feel like a young man again. Make me feel a little bit of a rush, which is weird because those songs are basically about like being a piece of shit. But like when I think about being younger, I think about me being a piece of shit. So because I was a piece of shit, suddenly that makes more sense. This little psychotherapy session. Then I did what I always do. Then I flipped to Type O Negative, specifically the song "I Don't Want to Be Me," which again reminds me very much of my youth. That one really touched me as a teenager. That came out. That album came out in 2003, and that was the oh, which one was that? Type O Negative. I'm gonna look up that album. It's on their album "Life Is Killing Me." It came out while I was in Germany. It came out that June. Were you a fan of Luscious Jackson? I have no idea who Luscious Jackson is. No, back then I was a big new metal boy. I was a big Cohen fan. I like Type O Negative. I like Ministry. I like KMFDM, Nine Inch Nails. All that music for angry weirdos. So I was a very angry weirdo. Nothing about that has changed in my life. That is one condition that has always been true. I'm a very angry weirdo. Half the premise of the show is me yelling at my co-host to the point where they say in side chat, "Man, this is really stressful sometimes." It's acting. Gotta be able to cope. Live performance is rough. I'm kidding. Then I apologize. Then I tell them what has gotten me pissed off for the past month and a half. That I have been passively aggressively taking out on them. And it's a big love fest. That's how communists handle things. Like Jewish women. You aggressively angry about shit until finally you talk it out. So, Black Number One is classic. That's a good one. But I listen to the stuff from Life Is Killing Me because that has a special place in my heart. That came out as in Deutschland. I love Stuttgart. City rules. That one came out while I was there, so I listened to that. And then I got to perform. It's time to go on. You can't have that much chaotic energy and not do something about it. It's all built up. You're all pent up. You gotta pop. But then that had me thinking. Why? What compels me to do this? This is the same nervous energy before I think I'm gonna get in a fist fight, which I haven't done in a very long time. Not since my very early 20s when I was doing stand up. So I did a lot of crowd work with a lot of people who weren't equipped to handle, who certainly wanted to pretend that they could handle crowd work, but they didn't want to get real with it. It's partially why I had to stop doing stand up. The other part is I just suck at writing jokes. I can do stuff off the cuff. I'm a conversationalist by trade, by nature. But I blow at writing bits. That's why I don't do it. Stick to your strong points as a performer. If you're really good off the cuff, just swing off the cuff. Do what you're good at. That reminds me of Zona by Rammstein is a good listen. Yeah. Fun fact about Zona. Um, it's not actually about the sun, which is what one would think hearing that name. Till Lindemann just hates his oldest. It's real messed up. Until Liedemann's the lead singer. He just hates his oldest child. I speak German. I'm an authority on this. Well, I speak German like a 5-year-old, so I'm pretty sure I'm right. That's good enough. Most Americans speak English like a 5-year-old, so why should I worry about my German only being at a 5-year-old level? It's the same thing. I speak English like a 5-year-old. I do just fine. There's nothing I say that would indicate that I have an intelligence above a 5-year-old. Ever. But no, it got me contemplating. That's cringe. That's called a joke. See, I told you I don't write good jokes. Off the cuff. It's about the final countdown before death. That's what Zone is about. See? Tricked people. I've gotten Jesus with that, and I've got chat with it. But bam. Bam. Got your ass. Um, and I was also a Rammstein boy. I think that goes without saying. System of a Down I really liked, too. Um, I'm talking fast tonight. See, I can tell I'm talking fast. I can tell antsy I am. But yeah. So it got me contemplating. What is that exact feeling? All right, what makes me end up feeling like a caged tiger? The things have to get done. What's that? What's going on in what's going on in my brain right there? That occurred to me. I know the answer. I, of all people, should know the answer. I stake my current performing career on it, knowing that particular answer. It's the Nietzschean will to power expressing itself. So I get really ramped up. I get anxious to express, to do, to act. In this case, in some forms, here it's the will to do something, to move the body, but at other times, like when I actually am on stage, it's the will literally to act, to get the thing over with. I've never figured out if it's because I enjoy the thing or if I want the thing done. I remember one time I was backstage for a show, and everybody's like wound up and nervous. And I was honestly just texting on a phone. Wasn't even really thinking about what I was about to do. And I remember somebody saying to me, like, Dan, you don't look worried about this at all. You don't have any kind of stage fright or anything. And I was like, no, it's just, I kind of want to just get it over with so I can go get something to eat after this. That's more what I want to do right in this particular moment. And somebody else in the cast scoffed me. Oh, look at Mr. Professional. It's not about being professional. It's all this waiting. There's no action happening. Nothing's getting done. Nothing's moving forward. No, there's no moving pieces. You're just sitting around waiting for something to happen. That's the will to power expressing itself. That's what that emotional response is. Your body just wants to move itself forward. It wants to go do. It doesn't care what the thing is. It just cares that the thing gets done, whereas everybody else gets all neurotic. Everybody wants to be Freud's patient. I don't. I don't find too much value in Mr. Freud. I have a passing fascination with the ego and the superego, but not in any kind of tangible or sensible form. Not like it's some overwhelmingly good model for the actual individual psyche. I like it as a notion of society, but I don't like it as a notion of like the mind and the neurotic. What are they? There's that the neurotic on the couch is Freud's big thing. I think the individual left to its own devices will become the neurotic on the couch, but because it's isolated. When the opportunity to act arises, it might not even know what to do with itself. Not might even know how to move its own body. You gotta know how to move your own body. And I'm not the social creature I appear to be. Very much an introvert. That's what Mr. Jung would say. Very introverted mind. Well, here I am decrying Freud, and here I am a neurotic on the couch. It's because the other boys aren't here. They give me something to talk about that interests them. That's the real trick to the show. I want to talk about one thing. They're bored by it, or confused by it, or completely disagree with it, so they just change the subject. And then I just run with it. I adhere to the flight of fancy. Too far. Too far sometimes we get derailed. Eats at me. I can feel it in my brain. My mind's all over the place at times. Right now is one of those times. But that's it. That's what eats at me. The will to power. The will to do. The will to act. Der Wille zur Macht. It's not even fair to call it the will to power per se. It's the will to act, the will to do. That's what old Freddie was obsessed with. And it's really no wonder he sat around thinking about that. Freddie was blind as a bat and he had syphilis. There's a lot of things he wanted to do. Loved his German hookers, that Fred. It's not really a wonder why. If you know Mr. Nietzsche, if you know of Mr. Nietzsche, dear old Freddie was insufferable. Guy was annoying as shit. Good bit misogynistic too. I mean, like any good German man, especially of the era. Why wouldn't he just be a rampant piece of shit? Why not? Why not be a douchebag? That was his. That was his operating theory. That was the background radiation to good old Fred Nietzsche. Why not be a complete and utter piece of shit all of the time to everybody I know, and decry them while I'm half blind and going mad from my syphilis? And I'm getting all worked up because the fascists like my work because I say fascist shit. But I don't want to admit it, that I'm the grandfather of fascism. Oh, look at that own. Dice Wars rocks. That game rules. But yeah, properly translated, der Wille zur Macht. Properly translated, it means the will to do, the urge to do. Kind of always tell a good leftist from somebody who's still combating their liberal roots. Because not too many fucking leftists have the will to do in that frustration of impotence that they can't do because there's nothing to be done. There's no organization to give direction. There's no decision-making operation to decide what must be done. I think it's my favorite part about anarchism. We'll all fuck about and things will happen. That's sweet. That's a cute thought. It's a very cute thought about anarchism, but ultimately, you're not wishing for Christmas gifts. You're trying to get political work done. It's a hard thing to do while you're pissing around. That's why the left doesn't function. It doesn't function as a political organization. At least not in this country. There's no conceivable left wing, a lot of left wing theorists, a lot of people with left leanings. A good fair bit of liberals have left sympathy, yet there's no left action because there's no organization to make that action happen. The left has turned so far against Friedrich Nietzsche because, oh my god, Freddie said shit the fascists like. Me, me, me. We gotta cancel him posthumously. He's problematic. Let me tell you right now, chat, the problem with is a construction. So there's this notion especially in internet heavy spaces, that media as a particular type of commodity is overwhelmingly powerful. And that people are hyper aware of what goes on in media. And that's a critical failing, a critical flaw in thinking. But they believe the average person is hypersensitive to media. Now, they believe this because of their own alienation and their own time spent sitting around watching Netflix and chilling and whatnot, whatever behavior they're engaged in, whatever new fantasy show they've decided to devote their time to as a form of recreation. But then, guilt comes crawling into them. It starts eating away at them. Why aren't you doing X? Why aren't you doing Y? Why aren't you doing Z? Why aren't you doing? And invariably, being eaten alive by thoughts of guilt of inaction, of the very real response to your own sloth, that produces a crisis. And what happens in that crisis is that people start labeling everything around them as problematic. Now, that's the end result. That's not the psychology of why they do it, but that's the end result of what they do. Now, the reason they take this is because they need to somehow assuage their own guilt. They need to go ahead and pick apart everything at every level. Now, it is true in a very real sense that the artist puts themselves into the art. Whatever thoughts going through their head is represented in their art. That's why they're doing art. But they use this as a lunging point, an opportunity to find out what's quote unquote wrong in the art, which is the key fallacy. The art itself is in no way wrong. It's just tasteful or not. The artist is revealing their soul, revealing the self. But the first mistake they make is to attribute it to the media. So these people code the actual media itself as it has some sort of mystical or magical quality about it, the quality that we call human life, and they rate it on those terms. It's an act of what's called reification. Okay, it's a big fancy word. It means you conflate inanimate objects with real living things. It's not personification, right? It's an easy conflation. But when you reify something, you ascribe to it qualities it can't possibly have. Specifically, you ascribe inert objects with qualities they can't possibly have. And this is going to sound kind of contradictory, right? Well, how, just talking about how Nietzsche was a fascist and he drove himself mad with things fascist, saying things that fascists loved when he didn't want to be saying those things. He didn't want the fascists to like him, right? So Nietzsche was quote unquote problematic. But therein lies the non contradiction. The fiction itself isn't contradictory. All of Nietzsche's great body of writing has no inherent problems in it because it's giving you an insight into a worldview. Nietzsche himself was quite the problematic person. He was a piece of shit. Ever will be a piece of shit. Of course, he's dead now, so we don't have to worry too much about it, but people will still try that game where, like, oh, let's talk. We need to talk about Nietzsche. Yeah, we do need to talk about Nietzsche. Why are you so goddamn lazy? Yeah, you didn't want to have that talk, did you? So, through this act of reification, people label media, quote unquote, problematic. And the reason they label it problematic is they can produce content showing that they saw it first. They saw it as problematic first. And they began moralizing. And that act of moralizing satisfies their own guilt, having not done, having wasted in their minds time enjoying recreation. And that's the critical problem, isn't it? Because they feel guilt over the sin of sloth. Hey, you follow me? They're feeling slothful. They're feeling lazy. Then they have to start moralizing. And that moralizing means they have to try to be the first one to ruin it for everybody else and make sure everybody knows where they stand on it. So that you know right away that if you enjoyed the thing and didn't find it problematic, or you enjoyed the thing and didn't come to the exact same critique they did, that there's a problem in you. They have to convert their guilt about their slothfulness into the sin of wrath. They have to take it out on other people. And that's really no big surprise if we consider the system they live under. They live under a system that rewards inaction. Right? The most basic form is capitalists. Capitalists make money by owning stuff. They don't act, they own. They buy other people's action. They buy labor. And they take the proceeds of that labor and then they sell it, which is in and of itself not actually action. It's just exchanging values. So the whole of society rewards inaction and laziness. It's built right into the top. Our political system reflects that. Successful political parties like the Republicans only represent, at a push, maybe 33% of the population, maybe a third. But because they bill themselves as the party that refuses to act, they refuse to do, they refuse to be tricked into doing, they're rewarded. They're rewarded with continuing an undue political power. It's assured that they represent so many people when they can't and they don't. Wow, 3 viewers for the Insomnia stream. But the whole society is fundamentally built on that sloth, right? It's in economics, it's in politics. It spreads down the culture. Because despite what Breitbart said, Breitbart understood the relationship of media to culture. But Breitbart didn't understand the order. And why should he? Right? And he didn't profit from being at the top of that chain. He profited from being at the bottom of that chain. from the economic to the political, finally filtering itself out into the cultural. He profited at the end. So why on earth would he ever have to see that it was anything but that? Was the last boy there, Steve Bannon, the fucking tradcath monster. That son of a bitch is only as powerful as he is precisely because he already has the economic base. He can then convert that into the political. And for him, he sees it the exact same way. And again, why shouldn't he? He's wrong, but it's understandably wrong that he's got the dialectic all reversed. Because there's really no reason for him not to see it that way. Because he ran a media company. But that company commanded undue fucking capital well before he ran it. Well before he got a lot of money from running it. And before he increased his political power from running it. They had an awful lot of fucking cash on hand. So it's only sensical that Mr. Bannon would see it that way. By the way, chat, I am taking questions, so if you have any, go ahead. Otherwise, I'm just going to ramble on with whatever I'm thinking about until I'm done. Fair warning. Insomnia stream is a go. And this brain will go wherever it wants. So anyway, Mr. Bannon's work at Breitbart was considered extremely problematic. But that's not because the work itself is all that problematic. Frankly, a record of the thoughts of these freaks and bizarre weirdos is a very handy thing. Imagine pawing through the notes of a schizophrenic and reading about all the fantasies about the microwave coming to slay them in the night and how the toaster's been spying on them. And all their errant ramblings about how maybe Charles Manson was a bit misunderstood. The work itself isn't problematic. You're dealing with the mind of a schizophrenic. The schizophrenic has the problem. It's schizophrenia. Pretty fucking obvious if you give it 2 seconds. But the urge is to label the content itself problematic, the piece of paper. No matter how vulgar that piece of paper might read, it's not at all problematic. It's just a window into the author. It's a window into somebody else's psyche. And what's going on over there might very well be fucking problematic. I can't imagine anything you'd read from Mr. Adolf Hitler would show that somebody was in good health. You know what I'm saying? Guy had some fucking problems. It gives you a window into their mind. You know, you want to take another good example of this. The critique of the right has been for what? At least 10 years, maybe 12 years, right? The news is fake news, blah, blah, blah. Don't be fooled. Fake news is problematic for right wingers. And there's very little assessment that would tell you otherwise. To be very frank, they're right. The news is fake. But the fake news can be viewed as one of two ways, right? We can view the media itself as a problem, or we can view the people giving the quote unquote fake news as the problem. And we can start looking at what they all have in common, can't we? You can start actually analyzing the problem instead of just writing it off as, oh, look at them being fake, fucking. And the right does a very clumsy attempt at this. They love mimicking leftists. That's a 400-year-old left concept at this point. Analyzing things for what is the problem or what is. Hate to be that guy, but Hegel did it. So there's really nothing all that interesting about that type of content, right? It's not very smart. It's not very good because, of course, their analysis always comes up with something that really does resemble some sort of schizophrenic and paranoid fucking delusion. Oh, it's the Jews are after us. We gotta watch ourselves. There's an elite plot of a bunch of guys in funny hats with long noses coming at us. Oh, jeez. No, you delusional bitch. Drug-addled psychopaths. Problem is, they're all rich people. And what drives you insane is when you boil it down, you want to be those rich people's servants. You want to kiss their asses. And they want nothing to do with you. You're not in the club because you're a dirty schizophrenic weirdo. What was the best line of that one Doctor Who, right? Now, that's a diseased mind. Granted, it was of our making, but a diseased mind nonetheless. Oh, shit, that's right. That was a David Tennant special, yeah. That's what I'm getting at here. If you're familiar with Doctor Who, chat, if you're familiar with Doctor Who, there's a David Tennant, when he was leaving Doctor Who, they did a special, The Sound of Drums. And in it, the character played by John Sim, the master, keeps hearing this repeating drum beat. Da 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 dun. 1, 2, 3, 4. Da 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 da. 1, 2, 3, 4. He can't stop hearing it. It drives him fucking nuts. It's always going on in his brain. What it represents within the storyline is a type of tracing code to figure out where the master is. Because if it's safe to come back from their imprisonment, the Time Lords are all eager to do it and fuck everything up all over again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, dun 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 dun, 1, 2, 3, 4, dun 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 dun, burned in his mind. Right? And he's gone completely fucking bonkers. They really are out to get him. In a visceral sense. They're trying to find him. Because they want to use him as a conduit. As a type of tracer, if you will, so they can return to reality. And when the master becomes aware of this, he's pleased as a peach. Oh, they chose me. They chose me. They want me to be this thing. They saw it coming. And I'm the one they trusted, not you, referring to Doctor Who. And when our dear doctor, David Tennant, confronts Rassilon, president of all the fucking Time Lords. Right? Rassilon and the Master. Looking like they should be the best of friends, the best of allies. Rassilon gives up the game. Yeah, we did that to you. You're just a tool. You're just a thing to be used. You're just junk. We don't want you. We wanted you to serve this function, and then we wanted to disregard you. We want, the healthy individual. We want Doctor Who, right? And that drives the master into psychotic violence against the people who made him sick. Now, they always talk about the prescientness of, they always talk about how prescient the Simpsons are. You want to talk prescient? There you go. There you go, because they have been driven bonkers cuckoo banana birds and are taking it out on the system that produced them. They were the product. The system exists, to manufacture them. En masse. The lucky ones get out. The left kind of sit where Doctor Who is. They're not really part of the plan. We expected them to be dead already. Oops. All your little plans got overturned. Do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do. 45 minutes. God damn. Been doing good. Straight run. But yeah, chat, that's what you're dealing with. That's the kind of shit I think about this late at night. When I'm all ramped up and ready to go. That's why I don't sleep very well. I'm too busy thinking about this dumb shit. Old, fuck, what is that, 2009 episodes of Doctor Who? I'm telling you, I'm on to something there. Don't let that one fall. In fact, I gotta go back and watch that episode. I gotta find all my Doctor Who episodes. God damn. The more I contemplate that one, that really is how they got done. They got done fucking dirty. Right wing got themselves fucking owned. Like real bad ownage. Counter Strike. Now I got that song Counter Strike stuck in my head from the fucking Persona 5 Striker soundtrack. Come on, give it your all. That was a good. That one slaps too. That song. That game slaps. I don't know how they managed to do it and make those two things fit, but they did. They really did a good job at that. Counter Strike. Come on, give it your all. You've come a long way, so let me just say the failure is not an option, no. Counter Strike isn't all worth fighting for now. Being a robot is not what you signed up for. Ah, here we go. Fall of Pink, baby. Let's do it. Sorry, I'm playing Dice Wars in the background. I do this in a lot of episodes. Dice Wars rocks. There's a game you should play. If I could get it to work on stream, I would just stream that. Oh my god, here. Jesus Christ. I did 45 minutes straight, now 3 minutes feels like forever. Ain't that funny how time works? Ain't it fucking funny? You ever see that Fire Laurie shit? That was good stuff. I gotta get back and watch more of those episodes too. It was an enjoyable little show. Made me giggle and guffaw. Guffaws of laughter. Is that the expression? I don't really know. I don't really care either. It's a giggle and a gas. Ooh. Being a robot is not what you signed up for. Whoever's watching on Twitch, man, don't be afraid to fire off a question. I got 12 minutes. I'll answer it. However I can. I can take a stupid one. Are you gay? That's a dumb question. The answer is I'm flattered, maybe even a bit curious, but the answer is still no. It's not how God made me. How do you like that? Just made it fit into God's plan. That'll piss off the other religious people. Starting to become real religious. Never really was. Starting to see the value of it though. I am a man who likes being morally righteous. I like having the high ground in those arguments. I can't lie. That part of liberalism is a permanent part of me. I love being able to hang moralism over other people. It's probably a big part of why I shifted to the left. I was tired of losing those fights whenever I deal with a right winger and be like, oh shit, deep down they're right. I'm just as nasty as they are. So I had two options. I could do what libs do and just roll in it, or I could just stop being as nasty as they were. We'll just move beyond the liberalism. Clearly going back to the right is not good. I'm not that much of a hedonistic pig eating from the trough. I don't have enough money to eat from that trough. You gotta be really, you gotta be really rich to eat from that fucking trough. Okay. That'd be a good idea for next week, though. I think I'm gonna get everybody the episode The Sound of Drums. Get in their hands. We're gonna watch that one live. I'm gonna show them what I mean. It's so hard to send video files to people. Such a pain in the ass. I need one of those nice illegal drive services so I can just shift stuff around easier. Setting up a watch party is a pain in the tuchus. Yeah. 8 minutes until I part from you all. Eight minutes. Fuck it. I'm not seeing any new chats. It's been 50, what? 53 minutes? That's good for an Insomnia stream. I'm bore out. I got it burned down to me. Alright, I love you all. You all have a good night. Be safe. It's a crazy world out there.